So yeah, at least for the UK, time to wrap this up. So yeah, like I said, even though it doesn't say season 5, just focus on this section where it does say season 5. It's over. Besides the fact that I'll be doing like one small one for one video on YouTube. It's not going to be seen on TikTok because it'll be all of them, and I'm pretty sure they're above 10 minutes at this point. So yeah, it's kind of putting all of it together. And I do love this series. There's a lot to like about it. And even though I have said that I prefer the US one, I still think this is a really good and charming, series. And through season 1, it's building and looking at the characters in fun ways. It's definitely done a great job to do that. And it's really good. The actors are amazing. Seeing the Horrible History actors together, at least some of the ghost ones are, again, like I said before, the ghost ones are from Horrible History. Seeing them all do their stuff again is just interesting. Because you can tell that they have been able to work off each other. And you can feel like, though, like, you know how each one of them acts. You know how they act. So you can tell that they've worked together. I know I sounded badly. I'm sorry. But yeah, time for the more funner stuff. So, like I hinted before, season 4, Fire. So, the Garden Gatehouse, which is sort of like a thing in the UK, I think. It's like a thing. You can go out to the countryside for like the weekend, do an Airbnb for a gatehouse. I know it's a thing. I haven't done too much because, but I have heard about stuff like that before. But one of the things was April Fools. Each one of them is trying to get pranked. And because of her setting a fire, doing something, they weren't able to get insurance on the gatehouse because they think they're faking it, but in reality they're just pranking ghosts, but we can't really explain it. Oh, they'll look crazy! Plus a bunch of like really unexplainable things that make no sense unless ghosts are real. The other thing which I don't think I've mentioned, and I think it's sort of season 4, one of them goes off, which in the US they sort of do with one of the characters, but not really. They do it like, and she's gone, can't miss her. In reality, she's trapped in a well and stuck for all eternity. So in reality, she didn't. She just got stuck, and then she was able to get back through, and it's really interesting. And there's really good plot development of that. That's besides the point. With this, someone actually goes away, and I find that really respectful. With the episode, I also like the 2 other ones. The 3 other ones I like are the Enfrances, which is basically 2 people having sort of like a communication, and like it sort of unfolds with like, oh, how do you not know? And like you kept talking to, I think, the wife, and then it's like this whole thing. It's like a drama thing. It goes to drama, but the reason why I like it is because you learn about this because he learns French, and like he wouldn't know French except for it. The other one, which no, it's not in here because that's season 1. The Pineapple Day, and the reason why I like him because someone brings a pineapple home, and throughout all of the series, you don't know this. The main characters don't know this. They still think this. Throughout the whole series, the sister looks like a horrible person who deliberately would ruin stuff for, like, the ghost that stays there, and you don't know why. And obviously you know why. It's sort of jealousy. But at the end, it's revealed that, yeah, it isn't the case. She didn't kill her, and she did care about her. It's just, she wanted her father to herself. It was jealousy. It wasn't right. None of it is okay. None of it is moral. But you somewhat get it more. It makes a bit more sense. Because you can tell that these two people are not from the same parish, not because of the obvious, but because they haven't been around for too much longer. So, her father remarries someone, and it's all about, like, having her mother not be around, sort of sense. And you can tell that causes pain. And I like the thing that, like, she got bit, but, like, she picked up a pineapple and was like, ow. And then that one moment was like, oh yeah, it's a pineapple. Like, to someone who hasn't touched a pineapple, that probably didn't mean anything. But I love the one thing that happened and the one reason why we could put it together. Because the one thing is that you could tell two other people who were there, the only two other people who were there, went away. And the other person wasn't actually helpful at all. They were looking at something else. They were looking at the kitchen. But the other person went away. The other two people who were there, because there were 4 people at the time, the other 2 people who went away aren't there to, like, say what actually from their perspective. Which kind of shows the idea of, like, sometimes even with the dead and ghosts being around, you can still have unreliable, but not unreliable, but not the whole pieces of the story. And I like 54321, the whole mystery goes to when she said, ow, it could be the pineapple shop, I didn't know that, or a poisonous spider bit her. They show it at the beginning when she picks up the pineapple, but no one thinks about it. Until obviously, like, the caveman literally said, yeah, I was paying attention to this really awesome spider. Don't know where it came from. And they described it as like, oh, that shouldn't be in here. That is not from, that is not native here. That means it came from the pineapple, which is basically poor shipmenting, etc., etc., etc. And then, obviously, episode 6 and the Christmas episode deal with the consequences of, you know, the first episode of this, and she gets pushed off. And realistically, I don't know how they're going to do. If they're going to do a similar thing, maybe try and think about selling it and doing all of that stuff again. I don't know how. Because with the UK, legitimately, you could be like, well, by the way, I did try and murder you. I will try and justify that to you, which is, you can't. You tried to murder me. But the US one is like, yeah, so why did I fall? Well, in our defense, I was trying to push it. And I did warn you, you were nowhere near when I was originally trying to do it, and I just wanted to prove that I could push something off something. It's stupid, but realistically, it is an accident. Legitimately, the US one is a complete accident, so you could just wave that away being like... And obviously they knew they were haunting them beforehand. They could have been like, oh, that makes sense, this makes sense. But yeah, it's the last... Season 1 to Season 5, I think, did it really well. Season 1 to Season 5 did it really well. With Season 1 sort of building up the characters and learning more about sort of like the characters, the world. And the fact after Season 2 they have a Christmas episode, I really like. And I really love that sort of the history of it. Learning about the ghost. And the way they finish it in the last episode, this is technically spoilers, but I just realised this. They sell the property and turn it into like a golf resort, like sort of like one of those golf places with hotels and a big chain and all of that stuff. And then they don't sell it in last resort. Because, like, yeah, I like living here, but because of money troubles and everyone's literally on the children being like, oh, yes, 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 they sell it. But the last shot is them coming back later and seeing the thing. And then here's the sign, people, which is just hilarious. But I hope you enjoy this mad video. and good.